peace, love, courage, or strength. So I'm going to just go over how to meditate first mentally and then physically. Maybe in a second video as far as the physically is concerned. So, mentally, what are you trying to do when you meditate? Buddhism has a saying that works perfectly, okay, with many things as far as what Buddhism and Eastern thinking is trying to teach you, which is the middle way, the middle path. So when you meditate, you are not, of course, you want to relax. That's very important mentally and physically. But if you could be the type of person that mentally you are too relaxed, and in Buddhism, you could call that cow mind. Think of how a cow is. More commonly, they would call it a dull mind. The problem with a dull mind is that it's hard to know if you have a dull mind. But just be aware that if you're too relaxed mentally and physically, it would be the equivalent of slouching physically, and that will lead to you falling asleep. But even before that, you get into a dull state. And a lot of people might think they're good meditators when they are like this, or they have this tendency, but it's actually, you're just dull. It's because it's cool to seem like you have no thoughts, but if you have a dull mind, it's not really it's not the right way to go about it. It's a trick. You think you don't have thoughts, but it's just you're more of a zombie minded person. You have that tendency, kind of out of it. And then after that, it'll get into tiredness. So this is even before being tired. You have a dull mind. Just kind of, I don't know how else to explain it. You're just out of it and not aware. So I'm pointing this out because it's very important that you don't just stay in a dull mind. You'll be wasting a lot of meditation if you're just in a dull mind all the time. But again, there's always going to be some benefits. But I'm just talking about we don't want to be doing it, quote unquote, ineffectively and wasting time in that sense. We would progress much faster if we recognize that we have a dull mind, or when you have a dull mind. Okay, so then the other side of it is monkey mind, which is an agitated mind, which is more common. It's just having lots of thoughts and feelings, just having lots of thoughts, feelings, emotions. It all goes back to thoughts, even feelings and emotions. And when you meditate, your mind seems more active than when you're not meditating. Again, because you're recognizing what's really there. Before you stop, you don't realize how fast your mind is moving. So it's going to feel like more thoughts. You're going to feel agitated. And honestly, monkey mind is better than dull mind, cow mind. If you have that tendency to be an agitated mind, that is better than being a person that's constantly in a cow mind or dull mind, because the agitated mind is obvious and when you're having less thoughts. It's very obvious, and so you won't get lost. You have lots of thoughts, and when over meditating for months or years, you'll notice the striking difference from when you started. So that's why monkey mind is actually better. But there's nothing wrong with having cow mind. Meaning, I'm not trying to say it's bad. It's just you can get lost in cow mind. and not be aware that you're in cow mind. Because that's what cow mind is, it's not being aware. So that's the only reason I say that having monkey mind is better. If you have cow mind, you got to focus more on clarity, awareness, being energized. It's a balance. And if you have monkey mind, it's very simple. You just keep doing the practice, trying to stay relaxed, try not to be judgmental. Just like with mindfulness, things come and you don't judge them. You're just in the present moment and you're like, okay, there's a negative thought. And you don't push it away because that's going to make it last longer. And it can spiral into this, more and more issues of more and more thoughts about the thoughts, feelings about the thoughts, on and on and on. And you could spiral out of control. But you also don't want to attach to it, which would be desire, like thinking about the food that you're going to eat after meditating or whatever. Your lover you're going to hang out with and have fun with later or something. That's attachment. So you don't want to attach to anything and you don't want to push anything away. Middle way again, actually. And when you do that, you're just objectively observing things. Subjectivity means you're pushing away or you're holding on. And this is what Buddhism is all about, non-attachment. But it's not detachment. It's detachment is taking it too far. That's like being numb or pushing it away. It's just being objective, like, okay, a negative thought has come or a negative feeling has come and you're just like at peace with it, like, okay, whatever, like no reaction. That's important for the beginning. When it first comes up, don't get shocked or try not to get shocked or triggered or anything. Just try to be relaxed when it shows up. Otherwise, that shock and that reaction will cause more issues and then it'll be harder to get rid of it. But you just, okay, no big deal, it's there. And then you're just like, okay, there it is. And then it gets bored and it moves away and goes away. And the great thing about meditation in this sense is that then you apply that to your real life. You become non-judgmental or less judgmental in your everyday life with, most importantly, your thoughts and feelings. If you have a negative thought in your everyday life, you don't get triggered. Or if you see something on the news, you don't get triggered. Or you have the training of, all right, of being aware, like, okay, I'm getting triggered. And you try to catch yourself, and then you're like, okay, I'm not gonna have this downward spiral into this maelstrom of chaos. I'm just gonna, because then when the beginning is when you have that chance to not make it much worse. It's our reaction that makes things much worse, right? So you just, whatever, it's there, and then it just goes away. Or whatever, this person I don't like is here, and I'm having all these thoughts, or they say something triggering to me and say something mean, and you're just, okay, like, I give you respect to do whatever you want. You have the free will to be mean, or to say something I think is mean, really is what it is. And I'm just gonna be objective about it. No big deal. It is what it is. Again, you're not pushing away and you're not attaching. Okay? Peace.